Good morning, gardening friends. This is, let's see, it's May 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, Wednesday, at a little before 10:30. I just wanted to show you, I got up this morning and I was looking at some things and I realized that the frame that I had here was actually, oh, hey, I had a visitor. Where'd he go? Alright, the frame was actually sticking between the main frame and the wall. The main frame, not the main frame. I don't have a main frame. Some of you got that. Anyway, so it was sticking between the two. I think what it was when I put it on, it was just a really tight fit, but then once I started loading stuff in, it actually pulled the frame down just a hair, just enough to get it wedged in there. So I pulled the frame off. I'm going to recut all the miters, and I'm going to remount it, and I always just kind of thought that frame looked a little ugly, so it should look a little better once I get it recut. Good morning, gardening friends. It's now, let's see, Thursday, May the 10th at a little past 9 a.m. I'm going to try and start watering my plants earlier in the morning, something that I used to do. It was just part of my morning routine, and I got away from it, and then I could see that my plants were having some issues, but here's kind of a slightly larger update today. You can kind of see how things are looking. Not having as much of a problem with the mushrooms, the ink top mushrooms, since I took the cage away and replaced it with another one of the standard frames. The squash is doing nicely. One of the two corn plants is doing nicely. And if I go in there a little bit better, you can see, I hope you can see that I've got a squash growing there. That's a kabocha squash, kind of like a pumpkin. Been doing a lot of work on compressing stuff. There's wood all over the place. Lots of little construction projects, but unfortunately the tall zinnia that I had planted in this box has passed. So I'm going to go ahead and replace it, because thankfully, let me see if I can do this cooking show style. I had some other ones that I was trying to grow too. I never try to grow just one. I'll grow 2 or 3. So I have this. I'm going to go ahead and put it in there, but I wanted to tell you the whole thing I was saying about these boxes being so much more efficient on space. Well, you can see the box. It's not taking up a whole lot of space left to right and front to back. It's more a top to bottom kind of thing. And so I pulled out one of the flower boxes, dumped all the dirt into it, and I almost filled the flower box. So a box this size, that soil is fitting in that planter. That's quite a bit of soil. I was a little surprised actually, and in fact when I was emptying it out, some of it went up over the edge and down onto the ground. So, but anyway, that's the update there. The chamomile and basil are doing nicely since I transplanted them. The stock incarnation are so-so. And they're in another one of these stained planters, which I have 4 more boards for. I'm hoping it's not the stain that's actually causing the problem. These are still alive. They just don't look wonderful, but they didn't look wonderful before I transplanted them. So I'm hoping I'll transplant the other one here. We'll see how well that does. Down below we've got the greens doing pretty nicely. And that's pretty much it for inside. More wood for more building. The pot that used to have the tall zinnia is doing nicely, and in fact it looks like a marigold has popped. That's still holding up okay. My tree light thing that I have over here is not looking so good, but I got more seeds if I have to. Unfortunately, this is like the better part of a year of growth. You can kind of see it is trunk-like, so I think it's supposed to be a tree or a bush. Anyway, that's that one. The hanging planters are looking a little worse for where I got to go in. I got to get up on a ladder and just start cutting out some of the dead stuff. That's why I'm starting to water in the morning. That's another reason for it anyway. Just because I want to see if I can actually get things to grow a little bit better if I get them wet in the morning and then we get the sun. If it's like grass, which I learned years ago was best to water it early in the morning, because then the sun will evaporate off any excess water. So maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe it's the gnats. Don't know. I gotta take a look at that. So I'll just give you a quick view of the rest of the stuff by the office. See that one? Yeah, that one's doing better since I cut off all the dead leaves. That one's still looking kind of sick. This one's looking pretty spectacular. That's not corn, that's broom corn. Pretty amazing how tall it's getting though. Again, we've got the problem with the leaves turning brown on me, and I don't know if I should cut them off or not. I probably will. The palm, and finally these two, where this one I've got to go through and just kind of cut some of the excess out. But there you go, you get an idea how those look. These are doing reasonably well over here. Like that. And you can see the other two, though the beams never came down. And now we're on the other end, on the north courtyard. We've got broom corn and at least one of the nasturtium growing. That second one I'm not sure. The smaller one, I don't know if that's nasturtium or something else. I've been picking weeds, like these annoying ones here. Let's see if I can pick that on camera here. There we go. That's just garbage. I can see more of them starting to germinate, but that's what it is. We got these plants over here. Still some that need some TLC. We got the big pot with one tiny little flower trying to grow in it. And finally we have these over here. I don't know exactly what's in that pot. Those are all volunteers. That's a bunch of marigold. That's a bean surrounded by radishes doing quite nicely. The flower that we had that got really tall, looked really beautiful, but skinny. Well, it's kind of bouncing back. Some more basil and strawberry plant. So there we go. That's it for today. Alright folks, I wasn't finished, I guess. I did some more work on the patio. It's almost 6:30 now, and that's the end result. I now have a little overhang, so when I come to my boxes and such, it's not so much for shade. It's actually, if you look up, you can see the screening, the mesh. That's what I keep calling it. Anyway, so that's hanging there. So basically, these plants climb up here, then they can eventually catch on here, and so I'll have a little overhang where they can hang down, but it's not too much. I spent quite a bit of time trying to figure out what would be the optimum distance, which in this case turned out to be 22 inches, where the shelf is 10 inches. So 10 inches from the shelf, no, that's not right. Well, basically the bottom line is if the shelf is 10 inches, this is 22 inches. If you basically figure that's an extra 12 inches hanging over. So it's not going to impede too much. I'm going to have to do back up here a little bit. You can see how messy some of the connections are. So I'll clean that up probably by putting some kind of trim board across it for the view from the inside. The view from the outside doesn't really look all that bad right now. So I'm probably going to head off to the home center now, which I've done the last 2 nights, for ideas, and see what I can find for a trim board. Next update will probably be tomorrow.